Anarchy is the absence of a central government where people govern themselves through voluntary cooperation. The idea is to eliminate state power entirely and allow individuals to self organize. While anarchism aims for a peaceful, self regulated society, it can lead to chaos when individuals act only in their own self interest, as seen in Somalia before 2006 when it had no national government. A monarchy is a form of government where a monarch, typically a king or queen, rules the country. The position of monarch is often passed down through a royal family, with succession usually going to the oldest child. Major countries operating under a monarchy include the United Kingdom, Japan, Spain, Sweden, and Saudi Arabia. Monarchies can be symbolic, where the monarch holds no political or economic power, like in the United Kingdom, or absolute, where the monarch has complete control over the country's decisions, such as in Saudi Arabia. While monarchies provide a sense of continuity, they can also lead to unsuitable leaders if the heir is unfit, and there can be a lack of democratic governance, leading to potential abuse of power. A federal government divides sovereign power between a central government and regional governments or states. This system is designed to promote efficiency by allowing smaller territories to govern themselves while still being part of a larger nation. The United States is an example of a federal government. However, federalism can lead to economic inequalities between regions, as some areas may have better access to resources than others. In a democracy, the citizens are considered the supreme rulers of the nation. This form of government allows people to vote on leaders and laws, ensuring that fundamental human rights are respected. Countries like Norway, Sweden, and New Zealand are prime examples of democracies. The downside of a democracy, however, is that the constant changes in leadership can lead to instability and a lack of long-term consistency. An oligarchy is a form of government where a small group of people, usually from wealthy or influential families, hold power. Unlike monarchies, leadership in oligarchies is not passed down through inheritance, but the ruling group maintains power through financial or military means. Modern oligarchies can arise when corporations or businesses have excessive political influence, as seen in the United States, where large corporations heavily influence political decisions. Oligarchies tend to exacerbate social and economic inequalities, as the ruling elite often benefits at the expense of the general population. Socialism is a government system where the state controls the distribution of goods and services to ensure equality among citizens. In socialist countries like China and Cuba, the government aims to provide equal access to resources and eliminate social classes. However, socialism can suffer from a lack of incentives, as individuals receive the same benefits regardless of their efforts, which can discourage hard work and lead to economic failure. A parliamentary system is a type of government where the party with the greatest representation in the legislature forms the executive branch. The leader of the majority party becomes the prime minister, who is responsible for executing the laws. In parliamentary systems, like in Japan, the ruling party does not hold absolute power, and the prime minister can be removed through a vote of no confidence. However, parliamentary systems can be unstable, as the opposing party frequently challenges the ruling party, leading to political gridlock. An autocracy is a government where one person or a ruling party holds absolute power. This power is unchecked by any external factors, and the ruler's decisions are final. Autocracies, such as the Soviet Union under Joseph Stalin, are often characterized by the suppression of civil liberties and the potential for abuse of power, leading to dictatorships. Finally, a totalitarian government seeks to control every aspect of life within a country, including political, economic, and personal beliefs. In totalitarian regimes, like North Korea, citizens' freedoms are heavily restricted, and dissent is not tolerated. Totalitarian governments are prone to human rights abuses and oppression, as the state maintains absolute control over its people. In a communist government, The state seeks to create a classless society by controlling the country's resources and eliminating private ownership. The ruling party, typically authoritarian, makes all political, economic, and social decisions. Countries like China, Cuba, and North Korea are examples of communist regimes. While communism promises equality, it often leads to human rights abuses, economic inefficiencies, and the restriction of personal freedoms. A republic is a government where the people elect representatives to make decisions on their behalf. This system ensures that the state belongs to the people and the leaders are accountable to the citizens. Countries like the Philippines are both republics and democracies. However, republics can be prone to corruption and abuse if leaders fail to act in the people's best interests. In a presidential system, there is a clear separation of powers between the executive and legislative branches of government. The president is the head of the executive branch and is responsible for enforcing the law, while the legislature makes the laws. Countries like South Korea and the Philippines have presidential systems, but too much executive power in one person can lead to abuses, especially if the president becomes authoritarian. A constitutional government is based on a constitution that defines and limits the powers of the government. Constitutions ensure that the government acts according to the people's will, and they provide stability by outlining the structure of governance. The United States and the United Kingdom are examples of constitutional governments. However, constitutional governments can be rigid, as any changes to laws or systems that conflict with the Constitution require amendments, which can be difficult to achieve.